Alright, hello class. Today we're going to do SAM Project 1A, Excel Module 1, getting started with Excel. If you haven't already, make sure you click download all, get both of your files. One's the directions, the other one is the file you'll actually be editing. Alright, so you'll open Excel for this. Give me a second, let me get situated with the instructions. Go ahead and if you haven't already, make sure you change the file name. You can do it at the end, but I would just do it before you begin. So you should just change the 1 at the end of your name to a 2 so that it can actually grade what you're doing. Let's see. We're going to start on, you'll see 2 or 3 different worksheets here at the bottom. We're going to start on the personal worksheet, so click on that at the bottom left. And it first wants us to cut the contents of so B1 to B2. So it wants us to select highlight cells B1 and B2. We're going to hit Control X to cut, or right click and select cut. And it wants us to put them in the A1 to A2 range. Oh, I did that wrong. Hang on a second. Control Z. So, yeah, B1, B2, Control X, A1, A2, Control V. Alright, so we're just moving that over. Then it wants us to auto fit column A. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your cursor and you're going to put it right between columns A and B until you get a little arrow, or it's a line with 2 arrows, a left and right. And you just double left click and it'll auto fit that. It wants us to change the width of column B to 16. So this one it wants us to do, instead of auto fit, change it to 16. So you can either left click and hold, and you'll see at the top it says width 5.0 40 pixels. You can either manually type in what you want, or you can just start dragging until you get to 16. So once it's perfectly on 16, let go, and that's changing the changing the width of column B. Then it wants us to insert some data. We're gonna do B14. Let's see. All right, so you can either get this information off of the video if you can see it, or it's in your directions. But we're gonna type in the first cell. We're gonna type 846.15. Just gonna tab over to C14. We'll do 23.22. I'm going to go down to B15 and type 846.15. Tabbing over to C15 and do 519. And then B16 is going to be 92308. And for C16 it's 0.00. Alright, then we're going to go to cell D5. So that is the email address right next to Albert Luna. We're going to type in albert.luna@cengage.com. And we're going to select the range. We're going to select, let's see, how do you do this? You're going to select D5 to D16. Oh, nope, that's not it. I gotta find the flash fill. I forgot where that's at. Um, oh, okay. Um, I don't remember where the button actually is, but what you'll do is you'll select D5 to D16, have them all highlighted. Then in the search bar at the top, I just searched flash fill, which is what we want to do. And if you can find this button, that's great. But you can just hit, oh, I guess Control E will do it. So once it's all selected, either click on this flash fill button or click Control E, and it'll automatically populate these with the proper email addresses. All right, next we're going to change the width of column D to 36. So you can either grab the top and look at what the options are. You can also right click. We'll do it the other way. Do format or do column width right here, and then you can just type in exactly what you want, which for this is going to be 36.00. All right, then we're going to go to cell A17. We're going to type total. We're going to go to B17 and create a formula. So you're going to start by typing the equal sign. We're going to do equal sum um, parentheses, and then we're going to select B5 through B16. So you'll select B5, hold shift, and go down to B16. I'm just going to type it in. Sometimes that's easier. You can select it. So equals sum parentheses B5 colon B16, and then parentheses, and then you should have it automatically add all that entire column. Then we're going to copy that formula, so we're going to click on it. We're going to grab this little right hand corner. We're going to drag to C17, and if you do that right, it will copy the formula with the and change it'll change the stuff inside of it to do the C column instead of the B column. So it should say 10,249.96 in column B17 and 533.73 in column C17. Next, we're going to enter number of employees in A19. So this A19, this blue cell here, type number of employees, and we're going to go into B19 here. We're going to type equals, we're going to do another formula, equals count, parentheses, and it wants us to do it for cells B5 to B16. So I'm going to do B5 colon B16, and I'm just going to put another parentheses and hit enter. So it's counting that to be 12 employees. We're going to go to cell A21 and type average commission. And then we just have to change the orientation. Oh, wait. All right, so we're done with this this worksheet. So go down the bottom left, select cash flow, and that brings up the cash flow worksheet. First, it wants us to change the orientation. I got to figure out where that's at. So we're going to change it from portrait to landscape, I believe. Yep. So go to, at the top, your bars at the top, you're going to do view, And on that, once you're on that tab, you're going to go to page layout or not. Hang on a second. Control Z. How do I do? See. Okay, I'm not sure where the option is. It's definitely in one of these tabs. But if you, the search tool is pretty cool. So you can just hit search, type in orientation. It'll have an option that says change page orientation, and you can go from portrait to landscape. It's not going to visibly change, but it's more for printing. All right, then we're going to go to cell A2, and we are going to. So right now it has a date, April 4th through 10th, 2024. It wants us to add the word cash flow in front of that. So cash flow colon space. So it should be cash flow April 4 through 10, 2024. Then we're going to select ranges A4 through E4, which is A4 through E4. So this entire table right here. And it wants us to, oh, and G8. So G8 is here. So select A4 through E4, then hit Control and select G8. Now it wants us to change the font, so we're going to go to Home at the top, and we're going to change it to 12 points. Right now it's on 10, so just hit the drop down, change it to 12-point font. Alright, it wants us to change the height of row 3 to 8, so go ahead and put your cursor in between 3 and 4. It should have that bar with the up and down arrows on it. And I'm just going to drag that until it is 8, which right now it's at. Wait, let me make sure. Oh, so it's going to get smaller. Right now it's at 15.75. So I'm going to take that down to 8 if I can. Alright, so that's one reason to just type in what it is. I'm having a hard time getting it on 8, so I'm going to right click, or left click, I mean. No, right click. Format cells. Nope, just kidding. I'm going to right click, row height, and change that to 8. All right, then we're going to go to cell B7, which is the one directly to the right of the profit, or the cell that says profit. We're going to do a formula. The formula is going to be, let's see, using a function to determine the profit generated. So it wants us to do some kind of subtracting. It doesn't want us to use a formula, so we're going to do equal and do B5 minus B6. All right. And then it wants us to copy that formula to C7 and D7. So grab the bottom right corner, left click, and hold. Drag that over to D7. When you release, it will automatically populate that formula for you. Then it wants us to do, so an E5 to E7. It wants us to do auto sum. Let's see, how do we do that? Okay, so you'll select E5 through E7. You're going to go to the Formulas tab at the top, and you're going to select this. I think this is a Greek numeral, but I don't know what it is, but it looks like an E. It says auto sum. You're going to click on that. It's automatically going to do that sum formula and all those for you. Did you just add the worksheet, the contents? All right, so we're going to go to A9 over here where it says last edited April 10th through 24th, and it wants us to just delete that, so we're just going to hit delete. We're going to go to G8, and we're going to try to figure out how to wrap this. Home. Okay, so you'll select G8, go to the Home tab, right here where it says Alignment, where it has the merge and center, the different ways to justify text. It says Wrap Text. This is ABC with an arrow here. Wrap Text, click on that, and it'll do text wrapping instead of it just being kind of weird looking. Then it wants us to zoom in on this worksheet. So right now, let's see, zoom, view. So you're going to go to the View tab at the top. You're going to go to Zoom. Right here it says 100%. We need to change that to, so click on Zoom. It's currently 100%. It wants us to zoom it to 130, so go to Custom and change that to 130. Hit OK. Let's see, after you typically generate some additional data to create a page. Wants us to insert a new worksheet at the bottom. So if you come down to the bottom left, right here next to cash flow to the right, there's a plus arrow. Click on it. It wants us to rename this to accounting. And that's it. It wants it to be after cash flow, which it currently is. If it's not, make sure you move it to where it is after cash flow. And you can do that just by clicking on or holding left click, and you can move it wherever you want. So right there, I put it next to documentation and move it back to accounting or after cash flow. All right, and that's it for this one. Go ahead and save it, and make sure you change the file name, that number right after your last name, or it won't grade it properly. And that's all we have for this week.